it's me again. I'm going to be doing my own review of the third SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run. So to avoid any copyright restrictions, I'm not going to use any clips from the film. So, let's get on with the review, shall we? The movie is mainly about SpongeBob and his relationship with his pet snail, Gary. It is so nice to see these two bonding together, as they've been bonding together ever since the beginning of the series. It's worth pointing out that the animation and character movement in this movie looks actually very unique. It kind of looks very similar to the animation done in the Peanuts movie that was actually released 5 years before this film. But you know what? It's actually pretty good. However, this entire movie actually gives a very sort of super cartoony vibe as the actual TV series has. Even though it's CGI and not traditionally animated, it's still treated as if it were traditionally animated, despite being CGI, but it's actually still the same. And don't worry, guys, I'm pretty sure that there will be more 2D films coming in the future. Going back to the plot, SpongeBob's snail Gary ends up getting taken away and sent to the Atlantic City ruled by the evil Poseidon. I say evil because, well, he's the main antagonist of this movie and ends up taking every single sea snail hostage. So SpongeBob has to go rescue Gary and keep him safe forever and ever. And Patrick joins him too. This is similar to the first SpongeBob movie where the two end up going on a big adventure. And as you already noticed, this plot is very identical to the SpongeBob special, Have You Seen the Snail?, which I'm pretty sure people have talked about before. Along the way, the two get into various shenanigans. They also meet up with a character called Sage, who gives them the token of courage. I think that's what it's called. But yeah. Anyway, they arrive at the Atlantic City, and, you know, them being SpongeBob and Patrick and all, you know that they're gonna do some dumb things. And, you know, pretty much almost forget about saving Gary. But thankfully, they remember. One thing I want to point out is that this film actually does a few things that the series has never actually done before, such as including licensed songs, as well as referencing some real life things as well. It's actually kind of odd that the actual TV series doesn't do that. Most likely, you know, because they don't have the rights to it. They even acknowledge a few things. Probably the biggest thing they acknowledge is probably the absolute worst cliche ever done. And that is when two friends or more end up getting into a pretty horrible argument to the fact that they don't want to be with each other anymore until something horrible happens that's even worse from the previous events. And so they do need each other, and it all ends well, they all apologize, and everything is back to normal. Yeah, that kind of cliche. Maybe you can list other animated films in the comments that features that stupid darn cliche. Oh yeah, there's also similarities to the second movie as well, where the rest of the gang end up working together to save the day as well. So is this the Paddy Wagon 2.0 now? Probably the highlight of this movie has to be all the flashbacks to SpongeBob and his friends all at camp together. Aren't they cute? They are so adorable. Every design is just perfect. Even their voices sound cute. They're just cute little kids. Plus, I like the music number. And I knew that there was love in the secret formula. Everybody knows that. It's so predictable. It's also worth pointing out that whole scene had to reflect on why SpongeBob is important. And basically, the thing is, SpongeBob is not allowed to die. And I mean SpongeBob the character. Every death situation that he has been in must never, ever happen ever again. I mean, seriously. You must think that this sponge might be annoying, somewhat ignorant, but he's still very lovable, helpful, and actually smart in his own way. Just whatever he is smart with, he's still a very cute character. Also, he's the protagonist, so you know that you have to like him. I mean, come on. Only love the hero characters. That's what I do. So stop saying things like, I hate SpongeBob. I wish he was dead. He should know better. I wish SpongeBob was not on anymore. Don't say anything like that. Say, I love the show. I love the character. I wish he would stay alive. I wish the show would last longer. I think that this show is probably the absolute best show on Nickelodeon. Probably the best children's cartoon. And probably, no doubt, the true king of Nickelodeon. Then we get a pretty funny chase scene / climax. I like it when climaxes have a lot of funny comedy moments, especially to the fact that, well, this is SpongeBob we're talking about, so you know that the climax is going to be hilarious. But to be honest, I think the climax in the first movie is probably the best climax ever made. This one, it's up there. But how does SpongeBob resolve the situation with Poseidon? He basically tells him everybody can be his friend. SpongeBob can be his friend and basically show him that appearances don't really matter. And as a result, he lets him keep Gary, and all of the snails are free to go. Then we get a pretty cute ending where SpongeBob has Gary and a bunch of other snails. He basically had become a snail dad. Meanwhile, everyone else in Bikini Bottom has a snail. And, well, everything is all perfect now that the snail population is back to normal. And Bikini Bottom is happy as always. So that was my review of Sponge on the Run. What do I think of it? I actually think it's probably the best SpongeBob movie I've seen. Way better than the other two. However, I saw and heard a few people say that they absolutely hated this movie and said that this was the worst thing that was ever made with SpongeBob related properties. To be honest, I think that's just people don't know better, or they just basically are those people who just say every new thing is bad. But does anybody else like this movie? Because I know I do. And like I said, best thing that SpongeBob has ever gotten. I haven't seen SpongeBob's Big Birthday Blowout yet, but I'm pretty sure that is the best thing ever made too. So what did you think of my review? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it in between? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye!